Hey there, this is Bill Pesco-Solito coming to you from our hotel in Orlando, Florida, where we are for a few days at our primary business's annual convention. But I want to talk to you today about the objectives of a cold call. There's 5 different objectives when you are prospecting, especially in regards to prospecting your leads that you're getting through the My Lead System Pro system. So the first thing that you want to do as far as the 5 objectives is you want to introduce yourself to the prospect. So typically what I say is simply the prospect answers the phone and I say, I assume that the person who answered the phone is the person who is the lead, right? Most people have cell phones nowadays. So I'll just simply say, is this Joe? Or is Joe there? And if Joe says, this is Joe, I'll say, great. This is Bill Pesco-Solito from Dallas, Texas. How are you? Again, very simple, nothing fancy, just introduce myself, my name, where I'm from, and obviously I'm identifying that Joe is in fact the person I'm speaking with right now. Now, the second step or the second objective of the phone call is to provide the lead with a compelling reason to speak with you. All right, so if this is a My Lead System Pro lead, that compelling reason for them to speak with you most likely is the fact that they opted into your website because they're probably struggling in their business and they were searching online how to get leads. So I will say something like, hey Joe, I saw earlier today that you actually opted into our website. Sounds like you're looking for a way to generate leads online. Is that correct? So obviously I've now identified that they opted into my website, pretty clear that they did it for a reason. They're searching online because they're struggling. And Joe now realizes, or the prospect realizes, that there's a compelling reason for us to talk now because he's going to say to himself, yeah, actually I did opt into this, and so now he knows why I'm calling. Now the third objective of the prospecting call or the cold call is to diffuse the situation and to create a pressure-free environment for the prospect. So instead of me just simply going in and start, asking them questions or start talking about the system or just, blabbering away, I actually ask the prospect, hey Joe, do you have a few minutes to talk? Or, hey Joe, is this a good time for us to chat for a bit? You really want to ask that question and get permission from the prospect. Now, in this day and age where everyone has a cell phone, it's safe to assume that if someone's answering their phone, that it's probably a good time to speak, right? I know that for me, if I get a call on my cell phone, it's not a good time, I just let it go into voicemail, right? But you don't know that and you shouldn't assume that. So what you want to do by asking this question and them saying yes, you're getting permission to proceed, and that's very important. Without actually getting this permission, you could start talking away or asking away, and your prospect most likely won't be engaged and they most likely won't be listening to you, so it kind of can end up being a wasted call. So always make sure you get their permission to move forward. Now, some people will say, well, geez, Bill, aren't you opening it up for them to say, no, it's not a good time? And yeah, that's true. You can then simply say, okay, great. When's a better time for me to call you back? Cool. So the fourth objective that you want to accomplish is guiding them into the questioning process, or what I call the diagnostic process. So for example, you want to ask questions of the prospect to find their pain or identify what's going on, right? You want to identify why they even, why they went online and why they found your website, why they actually opted in. There's something they're searching for. And the parallel that I kind of use here is if you went into a doctor's office, the doctor obviously starts asking you a lot of questions. Where does it hurt? What are your symptoms? What are you feeling? What's wrong? He doesn't just simply, or she, they don't just simply prescribe you medicine. Right? They actually have to talk to you first. They do a checkup. They run some tests. They ask you questions. They need to find your pain, literally or figuratively. They're identifying that before they can provide a solution. And you need to do the same thing with your prospect. So you need to start asking them certain questions to identify where their current shortcoming is with their business, what they're not getting, where they're struggling, why are they struggling. You need to find their pain. So a good segue into these questions and finding their pain might be, so you're looking to grow your business. Tell me, how are you currently generating leads? You want to ask an open-ended question. Notice how I said, how are you currently generating leads? Not, are you generating leads? Because they could say no or yes. How are you currently generating leads? You want the prospect to start talking to you. Another question you could ask is, so tell me about how you're currently marketing yourself, right? Again, this is an open-ended question. You want to get the person, you want to start flushing out information. The more information you can get from the prospect, the better you can identify the solution for you to provide. What you would like to hear is that the person is struggling with their warm market, or maybe they've tapped out their warm market, or they're tired of chasing around their friends and family. And that's likely a reason why they went online. That's likely a reason why they opted into your MLSP capture page and why they're now a lead. So if you can get them to start talking about this pain, talking about these struggles, talking about that the reason they went online is because they need to find a better solution, you can then talk to them about My Lead System Pro and provide that solution for them. But it's only after asking them questions, open-ended questions, to identify what their pain is. The next thing that you are going to want to do as far as the objective, the fifth objective, is going to be determining the next step. Now, what I do in this case is, after I've asked them a few specific questions and I've really flushed out what the pain is and what they're struggling with, I now share a little bit with them about our story. I talk about how, Michelle, when she first got into this, she was chasing around friends and family and, handing out samples of the product, and she was working very hard, but not working very smart. And I'll then share how things for our business shifted once she found My Lead System Pro and we were able to generate leads online. I'll then now share with them that we now are generating upwards of 35 to 45 leads a day because we are. And I talk to them about how much easier it is now to grow our business as a result of being in this system and using this system. So I'm sharing them a little bit about our story. I think people like to hear a real-life example. So I'm not just sitting here saying, or oftentimes I'm not even going into this at all. I don't go into the technology. I don't say My Lead System Pro is going to give you capture pages and sales pages and squeeze pages, and you're going to hook up your autoresponder to it and all this and that. I don't do that. I don't want to bog them down. What I want to do is share with them a story that by using the system we've been able to succeed. And then I'll say, what I'm going to do now, I go, if this sounds interesting to you, or if you'd like to learn more about this, or if you'd like to take a test drive and try this out, I'm going to email you information about this. And we typically, or what I'll always do is I'll send them in that email our link for them to take the 2-week test trial for My Lead System Pro. And before that link, though, we have a video that shows us in our back office using the system. So I'll say to them, look, instead of me describing how it works over the phone, I'm going to send you this video. I want you to watch this video. And if after watching this video, this sounds like something that can help you out, go ahead and take the 2-week test trial. It's risk-free. You can't lose. You can test drive the system for 2 weeks. If you like it, great. If not, you haven't lost anything. And I'll send them that presentation, that email, and then we'll move from there. So if you wanted to learn about how to recruit these people into your primary business, that's kind of a whole different conversation. I would recommend that you either go to your current upliner sponsor and ask them about strategies to recruit people into your primary business, or for more tips like this, you can go to our fan page on Facebook, which is Michelle and Bill Pesco-Solido, facebook.com/Michelle and Bill Pesco-Solido. You can also go to our blog, which is onlinewealthpartner.com. Again, that's onlinewealthpartner.com. Or feel free to reach out to us if you'd like more information on how we recruit into our primary, or if you want to learn about My Lead System Pro, the system, shoot us an email, get in touch, and we can give you more information on that as well. So I hope this was helpful for you, and keep up the recruiting, keep up getting leads, and have a great day.